opens quietly, a shadow vision over me. I know you well, hidden by the window pane, and all my sadness gone charade begins to fade. How long it stayed. Patterns of another day, awaken slowly out of gray, a tolling bell, rolling down the alleyway, it's calling all my dreams away. My dreams are songs I play.
Thank you, Eliza. Welcome to this gathering hosted by the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bowling Green. Whether you are here in person or online, we are so glad that you are joining us. My name is Christina, and I will be your service associate today. I do want to say this is a special service. This is our UU Festival celebrating Earth Day, and Spring, and May Day, and Beltane, and allergy season if you're an allergy sufferer like myself. Just a quick reminder to please set your cell phones to silent so that we can fully be present with one another. This service is being live streamed. If this large room isn't comfortable for you, you can go sit in the Hosanna Blue Lounge just next to the entrance of the building to watch the service live stream. We are a welcoming congregation. Whoever you are, wherever you are, or however you identify, wherever you come from, and whoever you love, you are welcome here. Our Sunday services are different each week so that we can honor and learn from our wide array of traditions and beliefs. Today, our speaker is Janine Grossmeyer, who will be speaking more about the earth and everything. Janine Grossmeyer, our speaker today, is a member of our congregation here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bowling Green. When she moved to Kentucky about 12 years ago, her new yard was full of rocks and thistles. She became interested in gardening and joined the local gardening club and became a Kentucky master gardener. After learning how vital native plants are vital for our ecosystems, she co-founded a chapter of Wild Ones here in southern Kentucky. Wild Ones is a nationwide organization that encourages people to use native plants in their gardens and landscaping. Janine enjoys her time in her garden and here at UUCBG, where she can watch the caterpillars, birds, and butterflies who have found a home. For Unitarian Universalists, the flaming chalice is a symbol of the light of learning and the love of our community. As our congregations is lit, we invite you to light your own chalice at home. This morning, our chalice will be lit by Roxanne.
Good morning. May this flame cast its light toward the coming days, reminding us that the future is not simply a place we are going, but a place we are creating. A new world is waiting, friends, not to be found, but to be built. May our time together light the way.
Please join us in singing hymn number 362, Rise Up, O Flame. to read together some of our Unitarian Universalist heritage. We invite you, if you are comfortable, to share in this affirmation by reading aloud the seventh principle. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence in which we are a part. Our first hymn is going to be Mother Earth, Beloved Garden, which is number 1067 in your teal hymnal. Please rise in body and spirit. Our Time for All Ages story will be presented by Janine.
So good morning, and today is, as Christina said, one of our special festival days. They happen throughout the year. In June, everyone will bring a flower for our flower celebration, and we'll share flowers with each other. In August or September, we bring water from a place sacred to us. We mingle all our waters together in the same bowl and then give it to the earth. We pour that water onto the plants we have growing here. In October, right around Halloween time, we remember those who have died. At the beginning of winter, we walk a spiral path in candlelight with music. And in February, we usually set aside a Sunday to remember science and talk about why understanding the world we live in helps us become more integrated with everything that happens around us. And today, we're in April, and it's spring. How many of you saw a maypole outside today? Okay, yeah. So after the service, we're going to gather out there, and no dancing is required. right? We're gonna walk around the maypole with the ribbons and twine them together. It's pretty simple. Everybody's welcome. You guys can maybe go out there with your teachers if they let you. Yeah. So it's there for you to play with in the meantime. But we're going to start here today with a poem, a short part of a longer poem by a fellow named, I think this works, Walt Whitman. And he's an American poet. And he wrote some very beautiful poetry. You may run into him when you're in school. Maybe you'll be reading some of his works. We're going to do a short part of it today. So I'm just going to kind of read his words. There's some pictures there. I want you to imagine that you are with nature, because this is a poem about nature. Underfoot, the divine soil. Overhead, the sun. Can you feel the sun high above you? The cool breathed ground, the just gone sunset. I salute and touch, and they touch me. I feel the sky, the prairies vast. I feel the ocean and the forest. Somehow, I feel the globe itself swift swimming in space. I merge myself in the scene in the perfect day. Never before did I get so close to nature, absolute and unqualified acceptance of nature. And never before did she come so close to me. So that's just a little poem to start us off on this wonderful, still it's Earth Day week. We're celebrating Earth Day all week long. And so at this time, we're going to sing the children out to their classes with our children's recessional, Go Lift It Up. Please sing as the children go with their teachers. Go lift it up.
We will now have a few moments for meditation, reflection, and prayer. The singing bowl will lead us into silence. After the silence, you're invited to join us in the song Spirit of Life, which is number 123 in your grand hymnal. The words will be on the screen.
climate crisis is partly an imagination crisis, a lack of an ability to imagine that maybe the world could get better, that maybe this is not as good as it gets. Changing the story is not all you need to do to change the world, but you can't change the world without changing the story about who we can be.
The stories I heard growing up came from my parents, my brothers and sisters, campfire stories, stories around the dinner table, stories on very, very long car rides, stories from books, of course. I have 3 older brothers and sisters. I tried to keep up with them and read the books they always were talking about so I could participate. And some of the stories I remember came from television. There were many TV shows on. I grew up with television. My dad and mom grew up with radio. It was that much of a generation shift. And of course now kids grow up with the internet and YouTube and all kinds of other things. But when I was a kid, stories came to us from the TV. And the stories I remember best from that time are Star Trek stories. It was on reruns. It was on every night. And I would watch it with my dad and my brothers and sisters. And we would watch Star Trek pretty much every night of the week. And then when it was over, we'd go eat dinner. And Mom actually preferred us to be in there instead of underfoot as she put dinner on the table. Star Trek was imagined by a fellow named Gene Roddenberry, and he had imagined a society in the future, a couple hundred years in the future. It was a very hopeful society. In his ideal society, people didn't need money. We were a culture of abundance. People didn't go hungry. Healthcare was taken care of. They had gotten rid of racism, and not just within the humans, but with all people from other planets, people who looked very different from them, people who didn't even look like humans, people not even humanoid, but rock creatures, bug-eyed monsters, all kinds of things. And his ideal was that the society, he imagined a society where we trusted each other, we learned from each other, we worked together to do amazing things. There were difficulties, and Star Trek does have some issues, and watching it now, sometimes I kind of go, really? You doing that? But it was overall a message of hope. Many of the stories, I continue reading science fiction, are very dark and grim. The Hunger Games, a couple other dystopian, the zombie shows that come on TV. It's kind of a very depressing ideal of the future. But Star Trek also had depressing times. It was just earlier. There is mention in Star Trek of World War III, of the millions and millions of people who died during that, of other difficult times, of the collapse of society before they created the society that shows up in Star Trek. So he knew there were dark times coming. Gene Roddenberry expected there would be dark times, but he had hope that we would come out of that and create something better, something new. Amanda Gorman, she's a poet who spoke at President Biden's inauguration and has done many beautiful poems. And there's a line in one of her poems about maybe we're not in the darkness of the tomb, maybe we're in the darkness of the womb. This is not just a time of death, it is a time of birth. And we have to die. Birth itself comes with time, labor, several different varieties, blood and pain. It is not easy. It is not simple to be born. And so the society that we may achieve may come only after a lot of pain and a lot of death. And it's not going to be fun, it's not going to be pretty, but we can look forward to that as an option, as something we could, all of us together, strive for, instead of thinking we're all going to get eaten by zombies, which, if you watch television, that's kind of the story they tell, and that people are horrible to each other. The reading that Roxanne shared with us is by, what's her first name? Rebecca Solnit. And she has a book out about how in times of crisis, a flood, great fires, the people who are there, who are suffering, who have lost everything, they create communities of help and hope, and they are nice to each other. and they share what they have, and they help each other. And so sometimes it takes a great cataclysm to bring out the best in us. It could also bring out the worst in us, but she has found, looking at these throughout in different parts of the world, that generally people react positively when there is a great climate or great crisis. So we are facing great crises here, multiple crises, most of them brought about by our own making. I used to be more hopeful. The last couple of years have set me going down a darker path as I see a lot of the work we had done to try to fix things being undone and made even worse. But there are other parts of the world that are progressing. This country is not the entire world. There are places where things are going well or going better, and they have a path forward. And so maybe eventually this country will turn around and start doing that. I can hope. I will hope. I have to hope, because otherwise I give in to despair and give up and curl up. Anybody done this? You know, you just curl up in a ball and stop interacting with anything? Yeah, but that doesn't help anything. No. Yep.
That's scary.
It is a scary world. There's a couple things we can be scared about, and there are things we can still do, even in the face of all of that. I mentioned my father would tell stories. He was 18, he got drafted and sent to World War II in Europe. Many of our, relatives were sent off to different wars, and that was scary too. And it's still happening today. We've been at war for the last 20 years without a stop. And that's also scary. And so there's a lot going wrong, but there are some things still going right. And so what I am hopeful for on this Earth Day is that this culture we have built of greed, of hoarding, of ownership, of capitalism, of not sharing with each other, it is not sustainable. I think we all know that, we can see that. It is simply not going to last. We could have sort of gotten out of it more gracefully. At this point, I'm thinking it's probably going to be a very unpleasant collapse. And yet, out of that collapse, out of that death, may be born a society that is better organized, kinder, and participates in what Robin Kimmerer in her book, Serviceberry, calls a sharing economy, where we share with each other. I have too much. I share it with you with the expectation that you will share back with me. And we don't hoard things in worry that we just won't have enough. So that is my hope. And I'm sharing that with you. I'm not anticipating it's all going to go well all the time. I know there are going to be dark times ahead. But beyond that, I'm looking forward to clear skies, hopefully a rainbow, and beautiful flowers. There will be rainbows. That is nice to know. Yep. So I did have some pictures. One of the things that we've been doing here at our congregation, we are blessed to have some land around our church. And so we've been trying to make it a haven, not just for people, a place where we can come and feel safe and comfortable and meet friends and grow, but for wild plants and wild animals. And so here's some success stories just in our little neck of the woods. The white squirrel. I must admit, we did nothing. He was already here, but it's always fun to see the little white squirrels hopping around. They love the oak trees and all the nut trees around us. We had a turkey visit one morning, which was pretty exciting. We planted coral honeysuckle. It is the host plant for this particular moth here. It's called a hummingbird moth because it flies like a hummingbird. And so I noticed her here one day, and she laid her eggs on the leaves of that coral honeysuckle vine, and right here is the caterpillar on that vine. And so we had a whole new crop of these amazingly beautiful little moths after she laid her eggs. So that's working. Those flowers on that vine are also very attractive to hummingbirds, and we have had hummingbirds here visiting. So these are small things, little things. They bring me joy. They bring me hope. I hope they inspire you. You can certainly plant these kind of things in your own yards, and I encourage you to do that. the monarch. And you may know that the monarch, the caterpillars only like milkweed leaves. We have milkweed growing here. We have milkweed caterpillars and we have milkweed butterflies. So that's exciting. Say again? Bring back the butterfly. Yeah, and to do that, yes, we need to plant caterpillar bushes. You may have heard of butterfly bush, right? It doesn't feed the caterpillars, and without the caterpillars, you never get the butterflies. So not just monarchs only like milkweed. Every caterpillar has a special kind of plant it eats. I have them everywhere. Good, that's great to hear, yeah. The pipevine swallowtail eats, guess? Pipevine, yeah. And so they're often named after the plants that they have to have. And so if we plant those plants, we'll get the caterpillars, we'll get more butterflies, and the whole system keeps going. So I encourage you to think about when you're planting something, if you have space in your garden, to think about planting a plant that comes from Kentucky to support our Kentucky wildlife. Birds have nested in some of the plants we've done. We found a bunny in our daffodils one spring. These are wildflowers that grow out that window there. They were here already, we didn't do that, but they're beautiful spring flowers. And these are ones we did plant. This is the eastern columbine. It's almost done blooming now. It's also very attractive to hummingbirds. So this idea of creating a little patch of Eden, basically, in your own property or in a place where you can garden, it's being shared around the world. As my bio mentioned, I'm a part of Wild Ones, which is basically a garden club for people who like native plants. But it's not just here in this country. There's a lady in Ireland named Mary Reynolds. She won the gold medal at the Chelsea Flower Show for her garden design. And for many years, she created and designed gardens, great big, enormous gardens for people. They would come in and move the earth and pile up in new shapes. She doesn't do that anymore because she realized that the bulldozers were destroying the homes and habitats of the creatures who were already there. So she doesn't even call herself a garden designer anymore. She sees herself as a caretaker of the land. She works with what's there. I mean, she will plant plants and care for them, but she's not doing great big earth-moving projects anymore. She stopped doing that. And she doesn't call them gardens. She calls them arks, like Noah's Ark. They provide a refuge, a safe haven, and possibly the only thing that's going to carry some of these species into the future. And they're small sometimes, but even a small one can make a difference. It can keep one plant alive, one critter. So if we think of our gardens not just as a garden or a couple of bushes in front of our house, but as an ark that can save the wildlife around us, can save the planet. If all of us have arks in our yard, we'll keep afloat longer, and we have a better chance of moving into the future with all these beautiful creatures. So I encourage you to think about how you garden on Earth Day, what you plant, and looking for the future, understanding we may have dark times ahead of us, but the sun will rise again and the rainbows will be there. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Janine, for reminding us to find hope among the flowers. If you have questions about Unitarian Universalism and are about joining this congregation, please speak with a member of our membership team. Their name tags have an open book symbol. You may also email at membership@ucbg.org. This congregation and the work that we do is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who contribute. The offering is a sacrament of the free church. You may place your donation in the plate as it comes to you or on your way out, or use the cue cards on the screen, or donate via our website or mail checks directly to our office. As we enjoy the music, the offering will be given and received in a grateful appreciation for our shared hopes and values.
I'll be playing this one. This is an hymnal, so if you would like to sing along, you're more than welcome to.
We thank you for these gifts. May we use them wisely in the service of our congregation and our community. We have a few things happening for community news. So today at UUCBG, after the service, about 12:30, we'll gather in front of the building and go around and dance the maypole and weave the ribbons together. No days of experience is required, and everybody is welcome. This is the last Sunday to donate to April's beneficiary of the International Center of Kentucky, which helps New Americans Thrive. Please go ahead and mark your calendars for these upcoming events. UUCBG gardeners gather on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. to weed, water, plant, and prune. Everyone is welcome to come help our flowers and gardens thrive. Our first park cleanup of the season will be on Sunday, May 3rd at 9 a.m. We'll be meeting at the Preston Miller Park in Bowling Green. Also on that day, May 3rd, we'll have our monthly potluck in our fellowship hall after the service. Please bring food to share if you can. If you would like your garden to help heal the earth, provide food for wildlife, there will be several vendors offering native plants for sale on Saturday, May the 9th from 8 to 1 at the Bowling Green Farmers Market here on Nashville Road. Our congregation's annual meeting will happen on Sunday, May the 17th after the service. We will be voting for members of the board of directors and the nominating committee. Thank you to all who volunteered to run for office and serve our community. The UUCBG online read and chat book for May is Ursula K. Le Guin's novel, Dispossessed, which is an examination of capitalism, ownership, and freedom of speech and conscience. And as always, you can find more community news by reading the weekly email updates. You can pick up a hard copy of the monthly newsletter from the lobby or read it on the bulletin board. The screen in our lobby shows upcoming events. Our website, our online room site, and our Facebook page and Facebook groups are always available online. And then our final hymn is going to be Blue Boat Home, favorite we've had here for a few weeks. It's going to be the great hymnal number 1064, Please Rise in Body and Spirit.
Standing on these mountains and plains.
Seated, also written by Rebecca Sonnet, and we read by Roxanne.
This is an anecdote told by Rebecca Solnit. Once Bill McKibben was asked a question he heard 1,000 times. What's the most effective thing I can do for the climate as an individual? He answered, stop being an individual. Find something to join, an organization, a movement, a campaign. Find a community to work with. That's where you'll find your power.
We hope you found this service meaningful, and we invite you to share your thoughts about today's service. You can send comments to sunday-services@ucbg.org. For those who are here in person, there is a blue box out in the lobby where you can leave your comments or suggestions. There you can use the online form. There's a link to it on our YouTube page, and the QR code is posted on the bulletin board and printed in the welcome brochure. Next Sunday, our speaker is going to be Reverend Anna Toulouse, and this topic is the question as sacrament. We invite you to join us again, either in person or online. Until then, be well and go in peace.